Welcome, weary traveler, to a soothing exploration of timekeeping's captivating history. Let's unwind together as we delve into the fascinating evolution of clocks, from ancient sundials to the precise mechanisms of today. Imagine yourself, perhaps, resting on a sun-warmed stone thousands of years ago. The sun, a giant, silent clock in the sky, casts its long shadow. This shadow, stretching and shrinking across the ground, is your first glimpse of time measured. The sundial, a simple yet ingenious invention, marked the passage of hours, its accuracy entirely dependent on the sun's unwavering journey. As the sun climbed, so did the shadow, a silent dance between light and darkness. It was a simple way to measure the day, a rhythm dictated by nature itself. But as civilizations grew, as the need for more precise timekeeping increased, our understanding of time evolved too. Think of the water clocks, clepsydras they were called. Gentle drips of water marking the moments. The steady rhythm a constant companion in the dark of night when the sun offered no guidance. Picture these intricate devices, perhaps made of polished stone or gleaming metal. Each drop a tiny whisper of time passing, creating a comforting, rhythmic sound in the stillness. Then came the candles, meticulously marked and burned, their slow, steady flame a measure of the hours. Each candle a small testament to human ingenuity, a flickering light against the darkness. Its slow consumption a reminder that time, however measured, continues its ceaseless flow. And even these simple tools required careful attention, constant vigilance, a mindful observation of their slow transformation. Imagine the quiet focus required, the peace in the steady decrease of the candle's length, or the quiet drip, drip, drip of the water clock. Centuries passed, and with them a growing desire for greater accuracy. The invention of the mechanical clock was a monumental leap, a marvel of engineering, a symphony of gears and springs meticulously crafted to mimic the relentless movement of the celestial bodies. Imagine the painstaking work, the careful adjustments, the slow and steady progress towards a more accurate measure of time. Each gear turning, a quiet testament to human ingenuity, a complex mechanism working in harmony, creating a predictable rhythm. The ticking sound, a regular pulse in the quiet spaces of time, a gentle accompaniment to rest. These early clocks, often housed in grand towers, served not only as timekeepers, but also as symbols of civic pride, their sounds echoing through towns and villages, a shared rhythm marking the communal day. They were majestic and powerful, but their delicate mechanisms required constant care and adjustment. The rhythmic talk, a familiar presence throughout history, soothing and comforting in its regularity. These are just the first steps in a long and fascinating journey, a story that continues to unfold with every passing second. Now allow yourself to drift further into that comfortable quiet as we continue our journey through time. Imagine a world without clocks, a world where the rhythm of life was dictated not by ticking hands, but by the sun's slow, majestic journey across the sky. For millennia, our ancestors lived in this world, their days measured not by precise minutes and seconds, but by the lengthening and shortening shadows cast by the sun.
This is the world of the sundial, a testament to human ingenuity and our innate desire to understand and organize the passage of time. Picture a simple obelisk, perhaps a roughly hewn stone, standing tall in the center of a village square. As the sun rises in the east, its rays fall upon this upright stone, casting a long shadow stretching far to the west. As the hours progress, the sun climbs higher, the shadow shrinks, inching its way towards the obelisk's base. This subtle, continuous movement, this dance between light and shadow, was the first clock of humanity. It wasn't precise, of course, not like the quartz crystals humming within your wristwatch, but it was enough. It marked the turning of the day, the transition from morning's cool embrace to noon's warm intensity, and finally to the evening's gentle decline. These early sundials, the most basic kind, needed nothing more than a vertical marker and a flat surface. A stick plunged into the earth served as a perfectly adequate gnomon, the part that casts the shadow. The ground itself became the dial, the changing shadow length indicating the time of day. Imagine the villagers, their lives governed by these subtle shifts in light and shadow. Their work began with the lengthening shadow of morning, reached its peak under the midday sun, and ended as the shadow stretched long once more in the evening. Their lives were intertwined with the sun's rhythm. Over time, the simple stick in the ground evolved. Ancient Egyptians, masters of meticulous craftsmanship, created elaborate sundials, their surfaces intricately marked with lines and symbols. These sundials were often portable, carefully designed to maintain accuracy across different latitudes. They were not just timekeeping instruments, they were works of art, reflecting the sophisticated understanding of geometry and astronomy that had begun to bloom in their civilization. Imagine the delicate carvings, the polished surfaces gleaming in the warm Egyptian sun, silently measuring the passage of time. The Greeks and Romans, too, embraced the sundial. They refined the design, incorporating curved surfaces and sophisticated gnomons to improve accuracy. They understood that the sun's path varied throughout the year, and they created sundials that adjusted for these seasonal changes, marking the solstices and equinoxes, the crucial turning points in the agricultural cycle. These weren't merely simple tools, but a representation of their growing knowledge of the cosmos and their place within it. And as you drift toward sleep, let the image of those ancient sundials linger in your mind, silent witnesses to the passing of countless days and years, their simple elegance a testament to humanity's enduring quest to understand and master the flow of time. The sun sets, the shadows lengthen, and you too are drifting gently into the quiet embrace of sleep.
Imagine, if you will, a world without the insistent tick-tock of a clock. A world where the rhythm of life was dictated not by gears and springs, but by the gentle, persistent drip, drip, drip of water. This was the reality for many ancient civilizations who relied on clever inventions called water clocks or clepsydras to mark the passage of time. These weren't the precise instruments we use today, but they served their purpose with quiet grace. Picture a simple clay jar, perhaps shaped like a vase or a slender amphora, carefully crafted and meticulously marked. A small hole near the base allows water to seep out, slowly, steadily, at a controlled rate. As the water level descends, it reveals markings on the inside of the jar, each line representing a unit of time, an hour, a segment of an hour, or even just a few precious minutes.
The steady descent of the water, a silent metronome of the ages, marked the day's progress, a calm and comforting rhythm in the heart of bustling cities and quiet countryside alike. The Egyptians, masters of engineering and meticulous record keepers, used water clocks extensively. Their designs were often refined, with multiple chambers and intricate systems of siphons to regulate the flow. Imagine a complex network of pottery vessels linked by thin channels, a miniature hydraulic system working with tireless precision, day after day, year after year. These sophisticated clepsydras were not just used for telling time, they were also used in legal proceedings and for the precise measurement of water usage, underscoring their critical role in daily life. In ancient Greece, the water clock took on new forms, often resembling elegant metal bowls or ornate vessels. Some were crafted from bronze, gleaming softly in the sunlight. Others were made of polished marble, their surfaces cool and smooth to the touch. These clocks, often used in public spaces, were more than simple timekeepers. They were works of art, as carefully considered in their design as any sculpture or piece of pottery. Imagine the gentle lapping of water against the sides of these elegant vessels, a constant whisper of time's passage, a soothing accompaniment to the hum of daily life. As you drift towards sleep, let the image of these ancient water clocks settle in your mind. Feel the slow, deliberate rhythm of the falling water, a constant, unwavering companion. Each drop, a tiny tick of the clock, measuring not only the time that passes, but also the serenity of a world that moved a little more slowly. A world where time was measured not by hurried seconds, but by the comforting, consistent drip, drip, drip of water. Let the sound of that water wash over you, lulling you into a peaceful, restful slumber. The water continues to flow, the time continues to pass, and you are safely cradled in the quiet rhythm of the ancient world. Imagine, if you will, a slender glass vessel, perhaps no bigger than your hand. Inside, two bulbs of clear glass are connected by a narrow neck, and within that neck, a cascade of fine sand, a golden river flowing ever so slowly, grain by grain. This, my friends, is an hourglass, a simple yet elegant invention that has measured the passage of time for centuries. Feel the gentle rhythm of the falling sand, a soft whisper against the glass. Each tiny grain, a moment slipping away, a testament to the relentless march of time. But there's no harshness in this movement, only a quiet, consistent flow. It's a hypnotic dance, a visual meditation on the fleeting nature of existence. Close your eyes for a moment and listen. Can you hear the almost imperceptible shush of the sand? A soothing lullaby for the weary mind. The beauty of the hourglass lies in its simplicity. No complex gears, no intricate mechanisms, just gravity and finely sifted sand working in perfect harmony. This unassuming object, born from such basic principles, has played a vital role in shaping our understanding of time. Think of the sailors charting their courses across vast oceans, relying on the steady descent of sand to mark the passing hours. Or the monks in their quiet cloisters, using the hourglass to measure the intervals of prayer and contemplation. The hourglass didn't just measure time, it shaped our perception of it. Unlike a clock that ticks with mechanical precision, the hourglass offered a more visceral, more tangible experience of time's flow. You could actually see the time slipping away, a constant, gentle reminder of the preciousness of each moment. There was a certain poetry in watching the sand disappear, a silent conversation between the present and the future. It fostered a sense of mindfulness, a quiet appreciation for the steady, unstoppable rhythm of life. Consider the craftsmanship involved, the careful selection of the sand, its evenness of grain size vital to the hourglass's accuracy, the precise blowing and shaping of the glass, a delicate dance between heat and skill, creating a vessel both functional and beautiful. Each hourglass was a tiny masterpiece, a testament to human ingenuity and the enduring desire to measure, to understand the enigmatic flow of time. The weight of the sand, the feel of the cool glass, even the subtle scent of aged glass, each aspect contributes to a sensory experience that is both calming and thought-provoking. As the sand continues its slow, measured descent, let its rhythm lull you into a deeper state of relaxation. Let the image of the hourglass settle into your mind, a symbol of both the fleeting and the enduring, the ephemeral and the eternal. And as you drift off to sleep, let the quiet whisper of the falling sand carry you away into the peaceful realm of dreams. Imagine the soft glow of a candle, its gentle, warm light filling a room, not just for illumination, but for measuring the passage of time. Picture this, a long, thin candle, perhaps scented with calming lavender or sweet chamomile. As the wick burns, the candle slowly shrinks, its wax melting, leaving behind a pool of soft, shimmering light. Each inch consumed represents a portion of the night or day, a silent, steady marker of time's gentle flow. This, my friends, was the simple elegance of a candle clock. These weren't precise instruments, of course, like the complex clockwork mechanisms we have today. The accuracy depended on many factors: the quality of the wax, the evenness of the wick, even the temperature of the air. A breezy night might cause the flame to flicker and burn faster, while a still, cool evening would slow its consumption. But this wasn't about pinpoint accuracy. It was about a slower, more intuitive understanding of time's passage. It was about the quiet rhythm of the burning flame, a gentle companion throughout the night. Think of the peacefulness of watching that tiny flame, a gentle orange heart against the darkness, a small flicker against the vast stillness. Imagine the hypnotic effect, the gradual shrinking of the candle, each drip of wax a tiny sigh of the passing hour. It's a meditation in itself, a way to connect to the natural rhythms of the world, to feel the gentle pulse of time as it unfolds. Candles weren't the only things used to measure time through consumption. In many cultures, incense sticks played a similar role. These slender sticks, often infused with fragrant herbs and spices, would be lit and allowed to burn slowly, releasing their calming scents into the air. Each incense stick had a roughly predictable burn time, allowing people to gauge the passing moments by watching the embers slowly creep down the stick's length. Just as with the candle, the process offered a sensual experience, the comforting aroma adding another layer to the experience of time. Different lengths of incense sticks were used for different time periods. A shorter stick might mark the passing of half an hour, while a longer one might be used to track the duration of a meditation session or prayer. The slow, deliberate burning of the incense, accompanied by its soothing aroma, created a sense of tranquility and mindfulness. Imagine the fragrant smoke curling upwards, carrying away the worries of the day, leaving behind only the quiet, contemplative presence of the moment. These candle and incense clocks, though simple, were remarkably effective in their own way. They didn't aim for the precision of a modern timepiece, but instead they offered something more, a connection to the natural world, a slower, more intuitive understanding of time's gentle passage. And as you drift off to sleep, perhaps you can conjure the image of a softly glowing candle, its flame a gentle reminder of the peace and quiet that time brings. Let the gentle rhythm of its diminishing light lull you into a deep, restful slumber. Imagine, if you will, a world without the steady tick-tock of a clock. A world where the rhythm of life was dictated solely by the sun's journey across the sky, by the shifting sands in an hourglass, by the slow, patient drip of water. For centuries, this was our reality. Time was a fluid thing, approximate and often unreliable. Then, slowly, painstakingly, the gears began to turn. The invention of the mechanical clock represents a monumental shift in human understanding, not just of time, but of precision and engineering. It wasn't a single eureka moment, but rather a gradual evolution, a collection of brilliant minds building upon each other's work, each iteration refining the accuracy and complexity of the previous design. Think of it as a whispered conversation across centuries, a symphony of innovation played out in gears and springs. Early attempts at mechanical timekeeping relied heavily on the force of gravity. Imagine a heavy weight slowly descending, its movement carefully regulated to turn a series of gears. These early clocks, often enormous and housed in church towers, were far from perfect. Temperature changes, friction in the gears, and the inconsistent pull of gravity all contributed to inaccuracies. They might gain or lose significant amounts of time each day. Yet they were a marvel, a testament to human ingenuity in its quest to measure the relentless march of time. The key to improvement lay in a better understanding of mechanics and the subtle dance of forces. The development of the escapement mechanism, a critical component in regulating the release of energy, proved to be a breakthrough. Picture a tiny gate carefully crafted, allowing the steady release of the weight's power, one precise tick at a time. This regulated release transformed the erratic descent of the weight into a consistent, rhythmic movement. The gears, once prone to jerky motion, now spun with newfound smoothness and precision. Each gear, each tiny pivot, was a testament to the skill of the craftsmen who built these intricate machines. Working with painstaking accuracy, these artisans shaped metal and wood, creating a delicate ballet of movement. The designs themselves were works of art, often adorned with intricate carvings and embellishments, reflecting the value and prestige associated with these early instruments of timekeeping. As the technology advanced, so did the artistry. Clockmakers began to experiment with different materials, refining the precision of the gears and improving the stability of the mechanisms. The invention of the pendulum, a revolutionary innovation, further enhanced accuracy, its gentle sway providing a constant and reliable regulator. The pendulum's rhythmic swing, dictated by the unwavering pull of gravity, smoothed the passage of time, allowing for a level of accuracy previously unimaginable. And so, from crude beginnings, the mechanical clock evolved. It wasn't merely a device for telling the time, but a symbol of human ambition, a testament to the power of observation, invention, and the relentless pursuit of precision. It marked a new era of organization, of punctuality, and of a more carefully measured existence. Now, let the gentle rhythm of your own breathing guide you into a peaceful sleep. The gears of your mind may slow, but the story of time continues.
Imagine, if you will, a world without precise timekeeping. A world where the sun's journey across the sky was the only reliable measure of the hours. Life moved at a slower, less predictable pace, governed by the natural rhythms of day and night. But as the centuries unfolded, a quiet revolution was brewing, a revolution driven by the gentle, hypnotic sway of a simple device, the pendulum. Before the pendulum, clocks were temperamental things. They relied on intricate systems of weights and gears, often inaccurate and prone to error. Their ticking was erratic, a hesitant stutter in the grand march of time. Think of the bulky, unreliable clocks of medieval castles, their faces often showing different times depending on the whim of the gears and the changing temperature of the day. Keeping accurate time was a considerable challenge, a daily struggle for those who needed to coordinate their activities with any degree of precision. Then a remarkable discovery. In the early 17th century, Galileo Galilei, while observing the rhythmic swing of a chandelier in the cathedral, noticed something profound. The pendulum's period, the time it takes to complete one full swing, remained remarkably constant, regardless of the arc of its swing. This was a groundbreaking realization. A seemingly insignificant observation unlocked the secret to creating a far more accurate timekeeping mechanism. This constant rhythm, this dependable swing, became the foundation for a new generation of clocks. The genius of the pendulum lay not just in its precision, but in its simplicity. A simple weight suspended from a string, governed by the relentless pull of gravity. Each swing, a perfect metronome, marking the passage of time, its rhythm as calming and predictable as the tide. You can almost feel the gentle back and forth in the quiet of your mind, a soothing counterpoint to the restless thoughts that might be keeping you awake. The implications of this innovation were immense. The pendulum clock, initially a marvel of craftsmanship, gradually became more refined and accessible. Its precise timekeeping revolutionized navigation, enabling sailors to determine longitude more accurately, reducing the risk of disastrous shipwrecks. It transformed commerce, bringing order and efficiency to trade and transactions. It impacted agriculture, allowing for more precise planting and harvesting cycles. It even altered social life, influencing daily routines and the organization of communities. Picture those early pendulum clocks, their smooth, polished wooden cases, their intricate gears humming a quiet tune. They stand as silent sentinels of time, their rhythmic swing a reassuring presence. The rhythmic tick-tock, almost a lullaby, becomes a gentle backdrop, a hypnotic rhythm guiding your thoughts towards a peaceful slumber. Feel the slow, deliberate swing of the pendulum in your imagination, its gentle motion calming your mind, slowing your heart rate, and preparing you for a deep and restful sleep. The elegance of its motion, a testament to human ingenuity and a symbol of the relentless pursuit of precision. Let the steady rhythm lull you into a peaceful slumber. The pendulum swings. The pendulum swings. Sleep now. Sleep. Now, drift away with us as we consider the spiral spring. Imagine, if you will, the quiet hum of a clock, the steady tick-tock that marks the passage of time. For centuries, timekeeping was a rather imprecise affair, a gentle dance with inaccuracy.
Sundials were influenced by the shifting shadows, hourglasses by the fickle flow of sand. Water clocks, elegant in their way, were susceptible to temperature changes and the slow, inevitable clogging of their delicate mechanisms. But then, a small, unassuming coil of metal changed everything. The spiral spring, a seemingly simple invention, revolutionized the world of horology, bringing with it a new era of precision. Picture this tiny, perfectly formed spring nestled within the heart of a clock. It wasn't just any spring. It was meticulously crafted, each coil precisely placed, each curve perfectly measured. It wasn't merely a component, it was the key to unlocking a previously unattainable level of accuracy. Before its invention, timekeeping devices relied on the pendulum or a falling weight to regulate their pace. These methods, while revolutionary in their own time, were still susceptible to external forces. Air currents, temperature fluctuations, even the slightest tremor could throw off the delicate balance. The genius of the spiral spring lay in its ability to regulate the release of energy. Think of it as a carefully controlled release valve, a gentle governor. It didn't simply drive the mechanism, it controlled the rate at which the mechanism functioned. This is where the magic really happened. Instead of relying on gravity or the consistent flow of a fluid, the spiral spring stored potential energy, meticulously releasing it in a measured and controlled fashion. It was a reservoir of time, a miniature power source that kept the gears turning with remarkable consistency. The introduction of the spiral spring, often called a balance spring, was a triumph of ingenuity. It allowed for the creation of smaller, more portable timepieces. Imagine the thrill of carrying a timepiece that was both compact and remarkably accurate. A pocket watch, perhaps, that ticked away the seconds with unwavering precision. This marked a shift from large, stationary clocks to personal, wearable timekeeping devices. The impact was felt far and wide. Navigation at sea became more precise. Scheduling became more reliable. And a sense of order permeated daily life in a way that was simply impossible before. The creation of the perfectly calibrated spiral spring required an incredible level of craftsmanship. It demanded meticulous attention to detail, a keen eye for precision, and a mastery of delicate metalworking techniques. Each spring was a tiny work of art, a testament to human ingenuity and our persistent desire to tame the flow of time. As you drift off to sleep, visualize the intricacies of this marvel. Let the image of the spiral spring, a tiny coil of metal, a symbol of precision and control, soothe you into a peaceful slumber. It's a testament to human creativity, a subtle revolution, in a silent, unassuming package, winding down the day and guiding you into sweet dreams. Good night. Imagine, if you will, a time before smartphones, before wristwatches, even before pocket watches. How did people know what time it was? Well, in many towns and cities across the world, the answer was simple. They looked to the clock tower. These weren't just any clocks, they were majestic structures, often the tallest buildings in their vicinity, their imposing presence a constant reminder of the steady march of time. Picture a cobbled street, perhaps slightly damp with evening dew. The air is cool, carrying the scent of wood smoke and perhaps a hint of baking bread. The gas lamps are just beginning to flicker to life, casting long, dancing shadows. And high above, silhouetted against the darkening sky, stands the clock tower. Its face, perhaps illuminated by a soft, warm glow, displays the time to all who look up. These weren't just functional timepieces, they were symbols of civic pride, testaments to a community's prosperity and ambition. The intricate carvings on their stonework, the delicate detail of the clock mechanisms themselves, all spoke of craftsmanship and care. Building a clock tower was a significant undertaking, a project that required the collective effort of the townspeople, a shared investment in the future. And then there was the sound. Oh, the sound! The deep, resonant toll of the bells echoing across the town square, announcing the hours and the half-hours, a familiar rhythm woven into the fabric of daily life. Imagine the soundscape, the gentle clinking of horses' hooves on the cobblestones, the murmur of conversations, the creak of a nearby tavern door, all overlaid by the rhythmic chime of the clock tower bells. The bells weren't just for telling the time, though. They also marked important occasions, the beginning of work, the end of the day, celebrations, and even moments of mourning. Their sounds held a powerful emotional resonance, connecting the community in a way that few other things could. They were a communal heartbeat, a constant, dependable presence in a world that could often feel unpredictable. Think of the children playing in the square below, their games punctuated by the familiar sound of the bells. Imagine the market traders, their voices mingling with the steady chime, their daily routines synchronized with the clock tower's rhythm. Picture the weary travelers arriving at the town's gates, their journey's end marked by the bell's melodious call. These clock towers, in their silent yet ever-present majesty, stood as witnesses to the passage of time, not only for the town's inhabitants, but for generations to come. Their towering forms, etched into the memory of those who lived under their watchful gaze, became a permanent fixture in the collective consciousness, reminders of a time when the rhythm of community life was intricately bound to the rhythmic chime of the public clock. As you drift off to sleep, let the image of a majestic clock tower, bathed in the soft light of the setting sun, soothe your mind, and the gentle rhythm of its bells lull you into peaceful slumber. Imagine, if you will, a world without the constant hum of digital displays, a world where the passage of time was a more tactile, personal experience. Before the wristwatch, before the ubiquitous smartphone, there was the pocket watch, a small, intricate universe nestled within a person's pocket, a constant companion marking the rhythm of their day. The transition from the large stationary clocks of town squares and grand halls to the portable pocket watch was a revolution in miniature. Think of the craftsmanship involved, the delicate gears, the intricately engraved cases, the tiny hands meticulously pointing to the ever-moving minutes and hours. Each watch, a testament to human ingenuity and precision, a miniature marvel of engineering tucked away in a waistcoat or a lady's reticule. For centuries, clocks had been the guardians of time, imposing figures dominating spaces, their chimes echoing through halls. But the pocket watch offered something different: intimacy. It was a personal connection to the flow of time, a constant reminder of appointments, of deadlines, of the precious moments slipping by. It wasn't just a tool, it became a part of a person's identity, a reflection of their taste and status. The early pocket watches, often quite large and heavy by today's standards, were marvels of their time. Think of the skilled artisans hunched over their benches, meticulously assembling each tiny component, their hands guided by years of experience and unwavering focus. Each tick and tock, a tiny symphony played out within the confines of the delicate mechanism. As technology advanced, so did the pocket watch. The size gradually diminished, the mechanisms becoming more refined and reliable. Elaborate designs emerged, showcasing the artistry of the watchmakers. Engraved flowers and swirling patterns adorned the surfaces, precious stones glittered at the edges, and the cases themselves became miniature works of art, showcasing the skill of goldsmiths and silversmiths. These weren't merely timekeeping devices, they were status symbols. The materials, gold, silver, intricately carved ivory, spoke of wealth and sophistication. The delicate chain, often crafted with equal care, linked the watch to the wearer, a subtle yet elegant affirmation of their position in society. A quick glance at the watch, a discreet adjustment of the chain, these small gestures communicated a certain level of refinement. But the pocket watch was more than just a symbol of wealth, it was a symbol of progress. It represented the ongoing human quest for accuracy and efficiency. Each improvement in the mechanism, each reduction in size, was a step forward, a testament to human ingenuity and our persistent desire to master time. And as you drift off to sleep, perhaps you can imagine the gentle rhythm of a ticking pocket watch, a constant reminder of time's steady, comforting passage, a quiet hum against the backdrop of a world slowly winding down for the night. The pocket watch, a small, intimate universe held within a palm, keeping time for a generation. And now, it's time for you to rest. Sleep well.
Imagine, if you will, a world without wristwatches. A world where checking the time meant a deliberate, often clumsy, reach into a pocket. A world where the precise moment was always a little elusive, hidden away within layers of fabric and perhaps even a handful of coins. For centuries, that was our reality. Pocket watches, beautiful and intricate as they were, dictated a certain rhythm to life, a slower, more deliberate pace. They were elegant, certainly, symbols of status and craftsmanship, hanging from heavy chains or nestled safely in velvet-lined cases, but they weren't always convenient. Then, slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, a change began. The idea of wearing time itself, not just carrying it, started to take hold. The late 18th and early 19th centuries saw the first tentative steps towards what we now know as the wristwatch. These early models weren't quite what we picture today. They were often large, bulky adaptations of existing pocket watch mechanisms, strapped onto the wrist with simple leather bands. They were largely considered feminine accessories, delicate adornments, rather than practical tools. Gentlemen, you see, still preferred the more substantial presence of the pocket watch. But the seeds of change were sown. The Industrial Revolution was transforming society, accelerating the pace of life. Suddenly, precise timekeeping wasn't just a luxury, it became increasingly crucial. In factories, in offices, on the bustling streets of rapidly growing cities, the need for a readily accessible way to track the hours became more apparent. And slowly, the tide began to turn. The practicality of having time constantly at your fingertips became undeniable. Think of the soldiers on the battlefield, needing to synchronize their movements with a glance, not a fumble. Or the doctors and nurses in hospitals, needing to quickly check the time between procedures. Or even busy professionals navigating the increasingly complex demands of a modernizing world. For them, a wristwatch wasn't merely an accessory, it was a tool, a vital component of their daily lives. The late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed the true rise of the wristwatch. Improvements in manufacturing techniques led to smaller, more refined movements. Designs became sleeker, more stylish. Suddenly, the wristwatch wasn't just practical, it was fashionable. It became a statement, a reflection of personality, a small but significant detail in a person's overall presentation. From simple leather straps to intricate metal bracelets, the options multiplied, catering to a diverse range of tastes and styles. And so, the wristwatch transitioned from a niche item, a feminine trinket perhaps, to a ubiquitous symbol of modern life. It transformed how we experience time, making it instantly available, seamlessly woven into the fabric of our daily lives. It became a silent companion, a tiny mechanism marking the passing moments, a constant reminder of the precious, fleeting nature of time itself. And as you drift off to sleep tonight, perhaps you'll feel the gentle weight of your own wristwatch, a silent testament to this quiet revolution in personal timekeeping. Rest easy now. The hours will pass gently, marked by the steady beat of time itself.
Imagine, if you will, a world where knowing the exact time was a privilege, a luxury afforded only to the wealthy and powerful. For centuries, timekeeping relied on the rhythmic swing of a pendulum, a delicate dance of mechanics susceptible to the vagaries of temperature and wear. These clocks, beautiful and intricate as they were, required constant attention, careful adjustments, and skilled craftsmanship. Accuracy was a fluctuating thing, a gentle approximation rather than a precise measurement. But then a quiet revolution began, a shift in the very way we measured the passage of hours and minutes. This was the era of the quartz clock. It started subtly, a tiny crystal of quartz, seemingly unremarkable, holding the key to a transformation. This unassuming mineral, when subjected to a precisely controlled electrical current, vibrates with astonishing regularity. Millions of times a second, it pulses with a consistency far surpassing the most finely crafted pendulum. This consistent vibration became the heart of a new kind of clock, a clock freed from the limitations of gears and springs. The early quartz clocks were wonders of miniaturization, intricate circuits cradled within increasingly smaller casings. Think of them as tiny humming hearts, their steady rhythm translating the quartz's vibrations into the familiar ticking of seconds, the measured sweep of a hand across a dial. Their precision was remarkable, a leap forward in accuracy that astonished the world. Suddenly, time wasn't merely an estimate, it was a precisely quantifiable entity, available to everyone. The impact rippled outwards. Industries reliant on precise timing, such as manufacturing and navigation, embraced this new technology with open arms. Suddenly, assembly lines could run with unparalleled synchronicity. Ships could chart their courses with greater accuracy, and scientific experiments could be timed with unprecedented precision. But the revolution wasn't confined to the factories and laboratories. It seeped into everyday life. Imagine the quiet satisfaction of glancing at your wrist and knowing the time with a confidence never before possible. The quartz wristwatch, once a status symbol, became commonplace, accessible to the average person. The affordability brought about by mass production democratized timekeeping, ensuring that everyone, regardless of wealth or status, could own a timepiece of remarkable accuracy. No longer was precise time a luxury. It became a shared experience, a common thread woven into the fabric of daily life. Think of the gentle hum of a quartz clock ticking away in the background, a constant, reassuring presence in homes and offices worldwide. Its steady pulse, a testament to human ingenuity and the wonders of the natural world, brought about an era of unparalleled precision and accessibility. As the rhythmic pulse of the quartz crystal lulls you into a peaceful slumber, remember the quiet revolution that brought accurate timekeeping to everyone, transforming how we experience and understand the passage of time. The subtle vibration, millions of a second, a testament to the quiet, persistent power of innovation. And now, let those steady vibrations lull you into a deep, restful sleep. Imagine, if you will, a clock so precise it wouldn't lose a single second in millions of years. That's the realm of atomic clocks, the marvels of modern engineering that define our understanding of time itself. Before them, the most accurate clocks relied on the swing of a pendulum or the vibrations of a quartz crystal, impressive in their own right, but ultimately limited. Atomic clocks, however, operate on a scale far smaller and far more consistent, the quantum world. At the heart of an atomic clock lies a carefully controlled collection of atoms, often cesium. These atoms, unbelievably tiny particles, vibrate at an incredibly precise frequency, a rhythm as regular as the heartbeat of the universe itself. Think of it as a tiny, perfectly tuned orchestra, each atom playing its note with unwavering accuracy. This frequency, a constant of nature, is used to measure time. It's a far cry from the swaying pendulum of old. Scientists discovered that these atomic vibrations, these incredibly precise oscillations, could be used to create a clock of unprecedented accuracy. The process is remarkably delicate. Atoms are trapped and cooled to near absolute zero, a temperature so frigid it slows their movement to a near standstill, allowing scientists to meticulously measure their vibrations. Lasers are carefully aimed at these atoms, their light interacting with the atom's internal energy levels. This interaction is what allows the incredibly precise measurement of time. Each subtle shift in the atom's energy level, dictated by its vibrations, is carefully monitored and counted. Think of it as listening to the faintest whisper of the universe, a whisper that reveals the passage of time with unparalleled precision. This precise measurement is then translated into a time signal, the incredibly accurate pulse that keeps our modern world synchronized. From the global positioning system that guides our cars and planes, to the internet that connects us across continents, atomic clocks are the silent, unwavering guardians of time, ensuring everything runs smoothly and accurately. The technology involved is truly remarkable, a testament to human ingenuity and understanding of the fundamental laws of physics. The process of building and maintaining an atomic clock is complex, requiring sophisticated equipment and highly skilled scientists. But the result is a clock so accurate it's used to redefine the very second itself. International standards for time are now based on the oscillations of cesium atoms, a testament to the technology's reliability and precision. As you drift off to sleep, picture these tiny atoms vibrating with unwavering rhythm, their song a testament to the incredible accuracy. They are the silent keepers of time, quietly working away, ensuring that our clocks remain synchronized and that our modern world functions with the precision we take for granted. And just like the steady rhythm of those atoms, let this calming image lull you into a deep and restful sleep. Let the quiet precision of the atomic clock settle over you and guide you into the peaceful slumber of the night.
Now, as the gentle hum of the evening settles around you, let's drift into the story of how we tell time today. We've journeyed through sundials and hourglasses, mechanical marvels, and intricate pendulums, but our journey isn't over. We arrive now at a time when the very nature of timekeeping shifted, subtly at first, then with a rush. This is the age of the digital clock. Imagine, if you will, a world without the constant glow of numbers. A world where knowing the time required a glance at a ticking hand, a whirring gear, or perhaps the position of the sun. Then, slowly at first, a new kind of clock emerged. Tiny lights, LEDs they called them, arranged in neat rows, began to flicker to life, displaying the hour and the minute with a cool, crisp clarity. These early digital clocks were marvels of miniature engineering, a testament to the burgeoning world of electronics. They weren't always beautiful, mind you. Some were bulky, some were stark, but they offered something revolutionary, an absolute, unwavering representation of time. No more estimations, no more interpretations. Just numbers, bright and clear, telling you exactly where you stood in the flow of the day. Slowly, these digital displays crept into our lives. First in offices, then in kitchens, eventually finding their way onto our wrists, tucked neatly into the bands of watches. They were practical, efficient, and soon remarkably affordable. The technology improved, becoming smaller, more accurate, and consuming less energy. The glowing digits, once a novelty, became a comforting presence, a silent guardian of our schedules. The revolution didn't stop there, of course. As technology continued its relentless march forward, the humble digital clock transformed once more. It was no longer just a standalone device, but a feature seamlessly woven into the fabric of our lives. Our smartphones, those ubiquitous rectangles that hold so much of our world, became our primary timekeepers. The clock face, now a simple app a tap away, became almost invisible, yet always present, a silent companion reminding us of appointments and deadlines. Think of it. Your digital clock may be on your wrist, built into the dashboard of your car, or embedded within the very fabric of your home. It might be a sleek, minimalistic display on your nightstand, subtly illuminating the darkness, or a vibrant, interactive clock on your smart home device, a portal to a world of information, all beginning with the simple question, what time is it? The answer is always a moment away, a simple glance, and the journey of timekeeping continues, subtly shifting, yet always present. Let the soft glow of those numbers guide you further into the peaceful depths of sleep. Breathe deeply and allow the quiet hum of the evening to lull you into a restful slumber. The digital clock watches over you, silently keeping time while you drift into the dreams of the night. Imagine, if you will, a world without clocks. No ticking hands, no digital displays, no insistent buzz of an alarm. Just the sun rising and setting, the changing seasons, the rhythm of your own body dictating the pace of life. A slower, perhaps more intuitive existence, yet one profoundly different from our own. That's the world our ancestors inhabited for millennia, a world shaped not by the precise measurement of time, but by its gentler, more unpredictable flow. The development of accurate timekeeping wasn't a single invention, but a gradual evolution. Early sundials offered a rudimentary sense of the day's progress, their shadows stretching and shrinking across the stone. Water clocks, clever contraptions that measured time by the dripping of water,
provided a more consistent, though still imperfect method of timekeeping, especially useful indoors. And then came the invention of mechanical clocks, intricate machines of gears and springs, marking a significant leap forward in precision. Think of the impact. Suddenly, societies could organize themselves with a level of precision previously unimaginable. Farmers could coordinate planting and harvesting with greater efficiency, maximizing their yields. Merchants could schedule their transactions, manage their inventories, and keep track of their accounts with much more accuracy. The rhythm of daily life shifted from the natural world to the carefully calibrated movement of clockwork. But the influence of timekeeping extended far beyond the mundane. Navigation, for centuries a perilous undertaking dependent on celestial observation, was revolutionized. Knowing the precise time allowed sailors to accurately determine their longitude, opening up vast oceans to exploration and trade. The age of exploration, the global expansion of empires, were fundamentally shaped by the ability to measure time with increasing accuracy. The standardization of time across vast distances, initially through the adoption of time zones, further knitted the world together. Imagine the difficulties of coordinating rail schedules or international trade without this crucial agreement on time. Our modern globalized world, with its complex systems of communication and transportation, wouldn't exist without this shared understanding of time. And think of the personal impact. Our lives are now structured around the clock. We wake to alarms, attend to scheduled meetings, meet deadlines, plan our days and weeks according to the ticking hands. We compartmentalize our lives into minutes and seconds, measuring our productivity, our achievements, even our leisure time. The constant measurement of time shapes our expectations, influencing our behavior, and creating a sense of urgency that permeates our entire existence. The clock, a seemingly simple invention, has had a profound and lasting influence on the course of human history. It has not only organized our societies and facilitated global trade, but it has shaped our very perception of time itself, molding the way we live our lives, from sunrise to sunset and beyond. As you drift off to sleep, perhaps you'll find yourself appreciating the subtle hum of the clock in the background, a constant reminder of the intricate web of time that connects us all. Imagine, if you will, a world without standardized time. A world where each town, each village, each bustling city kept its own unique time, dictated perhaps by the sun's arc across the sky or the church bell's chime. It's a world of beautiful, chaotic disarray. A train schedule would be a maddening puzzle, and coordinating a simple meeting across even short distances would be a logistical nightmare. Yet, for a long time, that's exactly how things were. People lived by local solar time, meaning noon was when the sun reached its highest point in the sky. But as travel became faster and communication improved, particularly with the advent of the telegraph in the 19th century, the inconsistencies became overwhelmingly problematic. Imagine trying to send a telegram to someone in a city just a few hundred miles away, only to have your message arrive hours or even half a day late, simply because of differing local times. The need for a global system of timekeeping became undeniably clear. The solution, though seemingly simple today, was a monumental task. It required international cooperation, agreement on standards, and a delicate balancing act between practicality and tradition. The Earth, after all, spins steadily on its axis, completing a rotation every 24 hours. But dividing those 24 hours into a neat system that works across vastly different longitudes wasn't as straightforward as it might seem. The first step was recognizing that time itself isn't an absolute thing, but rather a convention, a way to measure the passage of the Earth's rotation. And since the Earth is a sphere, different locations experience the Sun's transit at different times. This led to the concept of time zones. By dividing the Earth's surface into 24 distinct zones, each approximately 15 degrees of longitude wide, it became possible to create a system of coordinated universal time, or UTC, which serves as the primary time standard by which the world regulates clocks and time. Think of these zones as slices of a giant orange, each one experiencing roughly the same time of day. Of course, drawing perfectly straight lines across land masses to create neat time zones was impossible. Political boundaries, geographic features, and even cultural preferences often influenced the final delineation of zones. Mountains might bisect a zone, or a country might decide to adopt a single time zone across its entire territory despite its vast geographical extent. The standardization of time zones didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual process spanning decades, marked by debate, compromise, and the eventual adoption of international agreements. But the impact was, and continues to be, profound. International trade, air travel, global communication all depend on a system of synchronized time that allows us to schedule events, coordinate schedules, and simply understand when something is happening elsewhere in the world. So, as you drift off to sleep, remember the quiet revolution of time zones, a subtle but powerful force that helps connect our world. And rest easy, knowing that someone, somewhere, is carefully maintaining the intricate clockwork of global timekeeping so that you can wake up to a coordinated and connected tomorrow.
So, we reach the end of our journey, a gentle winding down after exploring the incredible story of how humans have measured time. Think back, if you will, to the earliest days when the sun's arc across the sky was the only clock. Imagine your ancestors, their lives dictated by the rhythm of the seasons, the rising and setting sun, the phases of the moon, a cycle as dependable as the heartbeat within your chest. They knew time in a way we perhaps can't fully comprehend, intimately connected to the natural world. Then came the sundial, a simple yet elegant invention, a silent witness to countless moments past, marking the slow, steady march of the sun's journey. Picture those shadows stretching and shrinking, whispering secrets of time's passage on sun-baked stone. It was a tangible representation of time, something you could see, touch, and feel. And as civilizations blossomed, so too did their methods of tracking the relentless flow of moments. The water clock, with its gentle drip, 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 a soothing lullaby of time. Each drop a tiny, almost imperceptible marker, yet cumulatively painting a picture of hours slipping by. These weren't merely tools of measurement, they were companions, quietly bearing witness to lives unfolding. Perhaps a king plotting strategy, a scholar poring over ancient texts, a weaver patiently creating intricate tapestries, all under the watchful gaze of these fluid clocks. And then the mechanical marvels, the intricate dance of gears and springs, each tiny component playing its part in this precise, predictable movement. Clock towers, sentinels of time, their chimes echoing across towns and villages, the reassuring regularity a comfort in a world often marked by uncertainty. These creations represented humanity's growing mastery over the intangible,
our ability to capture and control the relentless march of time. But despite our technological advancements, the essence of time remains elusive. We continue to grapple with its passage, its relentless forward movement. The feeling of time slipping through our fingers, a sentiment echoed across centuries, cultures, and languages. It's a universal experience, a shared human consciousness that transcends the specifics of our different methods of measuring it. Think about your own relationship with time. How do you experience it? Is it a relentless pressure, a race against the clock? Or a slow, gentle unfolding, a series of cherished moments to be savored? There's no right or wrong answer. The way we perceive time is deeply personal, unique to our individual experiences. As you drift off to sleep, allow yourself to reflect on the journey we've taken together. Consider the ingenuity of our ancestors, their tireless efforts to capture and understand the enigmatic nature of time. And let the soothing rhythm of your breath lull you into a peaceful slumber. Feel the gentle ebb and flow of your own inner clock, the rhythm of your heart, a quiet counterpoint to the grand symphony of time itself. May your dreams be filled with the quiet beauty of the passing moments, the gentle unfolding of time, and the comforting knowledge that you are part of this continuous, ever-flowing river. Sleep well, and let the quiet whisper of time lull you into peaceful rest. Sweet dreams.